morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Welcome to Simplilearn. We are honored to have you join us today for creating a killer marketing plan for your app with your host, Nick Bathla. My name is Richard, and after the 2-minute introduction, I'll be mostly in the back, helping Nick so that everything goes smooth until the question and answer time at the end. Creating a killer marketing plan for your app. There are so many tools and abundance of knowledge out there. These days, it's hard to know where to start with your marketing. If you have a team working with you, hiring people, or getting started yourself, what kind of training is available for you to succeed in your own personal career path as a company, as a marketing team? Hopefully we'll be able to answer some of that or get you in the right direction. We welcome Nick. Nick is a digital marketing, all things online marketing expert with over 18 years experience, regional trainer at Google, lead trainer at Simplilearn, along with many other venues. As an entrepreneur himself, Nick helps businesses of all sizes to grow and reach their targeted clients. University of Toronto, Rotman School of Management, Digital Marketing, Humber Business School, Masters in Business Administrative, MBA. And he has certificates in business analysis, certified all marketing things Google, AdWords, digital analysis, fundamentals, advanced display, advanced search, double-click, wildfire apps and mobile apps, analytics. Also certified Hewlett-Packard social media, Bing Ads, Microsoft social media consultant. Just across the board, everything dealing with marketing and digital marketing. We welcome Nick today. With Nick's expertise, this is a great place to ask your questions for your personal path, creating a killer marketing plan for your app. As we go through the webinar, let us know what you're looking for, whether it is more info on a specific topic, what path your career can go in. Maybe you're head of a team and you'd like to know what can get that team to excel. Whatever those questions are, we are honored to have Nick here today with us to address some of those. For those who aren't familiar with this form of webinar, I want to introduce you to your dashboard. If everyone could locate your dashboard and then locate the question module. You might have to click on the red arrow to re-expand it. In the question module, if you can go ahead and just say hello. That way we can let Nick know you're excited to be here. This also helps us check the sound system, make sure that our speakers are working and everybody can hear us. So if you can just go ahead and click on there and say hello to us. Great. Kanal, great to have you here. Excited to have you. Snehal, I hope I said that right. Matt, excellent. We're excited to have everybody here. Go ahead, make this your best friend while we're on the session and put your questions in here. At the end, we'll have a 15-minute question and answer time, and we'll try to get to as many questions as we can. You didn't come here to listen to me, so we'll go ahead and introduce, oops, excuse me, I almost forgot a whole section here. Feel free to share with us on your favorite social channels, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. You can use hashtag SLWebinars. That way people can find it, and you'll make them wish they were here. You didn't come here to listen to me, you came here to listen to Nick. So let me go ahead and bring Nick on here. Hello, Nick. Welcome to Simplilearn today.
Hey, Richard. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction.
It's great to have you.
I'm
just going to go ahead and turn this over to you and mute myself.
All right, perfect. So I believe everybody is able to hear me loud and clear and can also see my screen. I'm not just going to go ahead and ask everybody. I'm just assuming everybody can. My name is Nick. Richard has given a great amount of information about me. Thank you so much, Richard. But still, the rule says I have to go ahead and introduce myself from my side too, and then we'll get started with today's topic, today's webinar's topic, which is creating a killer marketing plan for your app. All right, so that's me, Nick. I'm a digital marketing professional, guys. I'm just introducing myself. I've been into this profession for the past 18 years. I've been into the both side of the industry, whether it's to do with the servicing side and also with the training side. I've trained quite a many professionals and have helped various small and medium enterprises with meeting their internet marketing needs. With regards to the certifications, like Richard said, quite a lot of certifications in the digital marketing industry. I've made myself eligible for that, whether it's through Google, Bing, HubSpot, YouTube, and so forth. And in terms of my education, I'm a master's in business and administration from University of Toronto. Plus, I do have a full-time role to take care of, guys, in my servicing end, which is I have a small Canadian-based internet marketing agency that's based out of Toronto, Canada. It's by the name of Your Creations Ltd. In case you want to know more about my agency, you can anytime go to yocreations.ca. We do provide across all the internet marketing services for ranging from social media, mobile marketing, email marketing, pay-per-clicks, ads, and search engine optimization, and quite a lot. Excuse me. Also, I'm a speaker at various schools, colleges, and universities, some of those being University of Toronto, where I passed out from, Humber College, IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, and some more. In case you want to know more about me, you can anytime go to linkedin.com and just type in my name, Nick Matla. You'll get to see my entire detailed profile. You can read what my clients have to say about me, how was their experiences in terms of the projects I have delivered, I have done for them, and so forth. All right, and also Richard did mention I'm a trainer with several other organizations, some of those being Google, GoDaddy, Microsoft, and several others. All right, so now today's topic is creating a killer marketing plan. I'm going to go ahead and get just started with the topic without wasting any further time. So the very first slide I have got over here, which talks about the objectives which a mobile app, is supposed to be achieving. So I'm assuming most of you are marketers, you have been studying digital marketing, or you are studying, and it's an ongoing process. So talking about mobile app, we all know that the usage of mobile app is on a peak. It's increasing massively. There are no doubts about that. In terms of understanding how do we really go ahead and market across an app, I'm starting with understanding what a mobile app is really supposed to be doing. For a marketer, an app is there for enhancing the product, for value, adding more value to the business. It is used for several other functions in an organization, like providing customer support, for showcasing the products and offering to the end customer, for engagement, for entertainment purpose, for acquiring new customers, whether that acquisition can be defined as maybe a sign up of a newsletter, or it could be defined as a sale onto the website, or differs from situation to situation. Also, the other objective which a mobile app really meets across is just brand awareness also. When you have launched across something in your business or in an organization, maybe the immediate objective is to go ahead and make people aware, make your potential audience aware about your brand, about the new product which is being launched across. So even that can be an objective, but could be extending the brand further with whatever you have at the current point in time, or in-app purchases, which is primarily for the e-commerce website. So you have the products with the price tag attached to it, and you're looking for people to come onto your app and do the purchasing. And that helps in building in more revenue for the organization. And not just revenue generation is done with the help of products being sold within the app. It can also serve as a publishing platform where you can generate revenue through the advertisement space which you offer. So as an advertiser, or as a publisher, from both the end, apps really works in terms of generating revenue. But we're going to focus more in terms of an advertiser as a organization, how a mobile app which is being created across should be marketed across before the launch of the app, guys, and after the launch. So that's pretty interesting. The marketing, as we all know, doesn't really start when the product is being done. Even at the initial stage, when you're thinking about launching an app, it should start with how you're going to market it across. Because creating an app in today's world, I hope all of you would agree to me, it's not a difficult job. With the availability of so many platforms, which gives you the option to create an app with the help of templates without paying in anything, or by just paying in a very substantial amount, it is not a rocket science, right? The overall science which goes behind making an app successful is the way you're going to market it across. And that's what we're going to focus furthermore after understanding the objectives. We're going to focus on the various ways an app should be marketed. And in a very streamlined manner, we'll talk about the before and the after tactics. So when you are launching, when I said before the launch of the app and after the launch of the app, what sort of steps and the strategies and internet marketer or digital marketer or an app marketer, whatever you want to call that, should be taking across. All right. Now, how mobile apps are growing brand awareness? I've got some more information before we get into the before and after, guys. Now, in terms of brand awareness, which we were talking about, a branded application definitely helps in making the brand, uh, you know, the brand message getting passed on, people getting to know about your brand and so forth. Also, from the engagement purpose, making people stick onto your app and letting them know that it has got value for you. And if they find at the end customers, the users of your app are finding value, definitely it's going to be more of engagement, which will ultimately lead to brand sticking onto the mind of those customers, of those users of the app. Easy functionality, ability to go ahead and share across the app amongst others. I mean, these are some more ways through which the apps are able to make the end audience know about the brand, right? So easy functionality again will result into more stickiness, more people going ahead and finding it favorable to use across the app, and then also going ahead and sharing it with their friends and families over the social networks, whatever the social network would be. Deeper content and engagement we have spoken about, and also creating touch points for the brand at deeper level, so in the customer's pocket. So these are various ways through which mobile apps have been able to grow the brand awareness. Now, not just this particular brand awareness perspective, there are various other goals which mobile app marketing really looks at. Now, these are some examples which I've got onto the slide over here. Number of app downloads, whether it's an iOS app or an Android app, these are the goals which one looks at. So when you are marketing across an app, you're looking for maximum downloads, because at the end of the day, if you are working even as a publisher, you're getting paid for every download. Or if you're working as an advertiser, you want more people to come onto your app, download your app, and once they're going to download and engage with your app, definitely more sales, more other conversions are going to come across. Then it's all about having loyal users who would make in-app purchases, share with the friends through social media, through messaging, through email, and so forth, getting a higher App Store ranking, which is another name of search engine optimization. That is precisely App Store optimization. So that's the new search engine optimization, where you are going ahead and doing several on-page, off-page optimization to your apps so that they rank higher for certain generic keywords, certain generic search phrases which your potential audience would type in. We'll definitely talk about App Store optimization in a nutshell. I've got a certain slide for that, but definitely it could be talked about in way too detail on how to really go ahead and make your app discoverable within the App Store, whether it's a Google Play Store or an Apple Play Store and so forth. Also, you look at other conversions being making people create account on your apps. Also, with in-app referrals, that would help in the virality and also increasing lifetime customer value. Also, optimizing the advertising spend across the paid ad platforms, the post-download events too. So when the app customers have are coming back to your app again and again, there is a relationship which is getting built up through different channels, whether it's through the app, through the website, social media, and you go ahead and offer them across various loyalty programs so that it helps in bringing in more revenue for the organization and so forth. Plus, also the objective with mobile app marketing is to go ahead and get much more engagement on the social media platforms, better word of mouth, better positive word of mouth precisely about your brand and so forth. Now, there is a biggest challenge in the app market. What is it? There are millions of apps in the App Store. So if you look at the numbers, I mean, they're increasing massively. There are millions of apps in the app stores. We've got way too bigger numbers for the Apple Store and a bit lesser for the Google Play Store, which is the Android one. But still, it's going exponentially high. The growth rate is pretty huge. And as a result, what happens is it becomes a challenge for the marketers, for the app owners. When there are several apps which are getting introduced daily, which are, they're going every day, the competition is absolutely increasing, right? So what is it that one needs to do as a marketer to really make the app successful? It is all about looking for differentiation. Along with the way you're going to market it across, you need to have a differentiating factor which the marketer has to go ahead and promote across on several places. Whether that those places which I'm talking about are in the offline marketing, in the online marketing, and within the online also, whether it's in the mobile version or the desktop version, right? So look out for the differentiation, what your app has got to do, which your competitors haven't really got. All right. Here we got certain pointers which talk about the ways which one can really make an app marketing successful. So what are the keys to app marketing success? I've already spoken about the differentiation part, right? And that's what number one pointer says, having product quality. So having a stronger app, when I say stronger app, it could be from the value perspective, it could be also from any creative element you are adding onto your app, something which nobody else has got, which is the differentiation part. So you as an app owner or the app creator or whatsoever, have to really look for the quality, for the differentiation. When I say quality, it also gets extended to the usage of the app, which doesn't have any bugs or crashes, which is the most common pitfall which has been seen, observed in various marketing of app programs. So in various apps marketing, the crashes and the bugs have been the real cause for the non-success of the app. So communicating with the customers over issues to encourage loyalty, that's absolutely important. You need to make sure that you inform your customers that it is a stronger platform which is going to offer such and such value for what you're looking at. The other key element is to create across a buzz. So that goes hand in hand with the other sort of marketing tactics too. So it is all about making people know about your app, stimulating various positive discussions and brand buzz among influencers in the target customer community, whosoever whom you feel are going to be the potential audience. You make sure you go ahead and get the conversations up on those platforms where your target audience is going to be there, right? Amongst the app reviewers, so there are various influencers, tech bloggers, app reviewers whom you should really make your, you should network with, so that at the end of the day, they're the ones who are influencers and who are going to get you a lot of eyeballs, a lot of positive news spread out by them is going to have a high impact as compared to you going ahead and sounding like an advertiser altogether. So that's another one, creating a buzz. And the other element which is key to an app marketing success is all about getting found in the App Store. I spoke about that, which is App Store optimization. This is the organic way of influencing the overall App Store marketing, going ahead and promoting across your app in the optimization space, where you're not paying anything to any platform, any sort of an ad exchange. It's all about going ahead and creating valuable content in for your app. So whenever you're submitting across your app, registering across your app for the stores, the app stores, whether it's the Apple or the Google Play, the Android one, it's all about going ahead and selecting the right search phrases which you feel your end audience are going to be typing in, and also making sure the category underneath which the app is getting saved across, that category isn't really competitive. If you are looking for submitting your app in the most preferable, the most favorable category, which is highly competitive, that's not the right way to do it. So maybe you're not going to get across higher position for your favorable category so easily, but the second most favorable or the third most favorable, which is not that competitive, in the initial phase, that one should be used across. So that ultimately, if in the other category, your app rises in terms of the ranking, it's always going to get you across more eyeballs, and it's also going to fetch you more downloads and so forth, right? So using App Store optimization best practices, which are quite a lot, I'm going to touch base a bit on that. and this which would easily help in getting the app found across in the App Store, the Google Play, and so forth. Also creating an initial burst. Along with App Store, I would also talk about when your app gets found across with the category, it's also the screenshots, guys. So you must have seen whenever you are finding across for an app, the overall description of an app really matters. The overall icon of the app also plays a very important role. The more catchy, the more attractive an icon of the app is, the description also needs to be more way too attractive and more catchy. That's the text. Along with that, it is the screenshots of the app which depicts how the app overall navigation is, the overall interfaces. So creating across great attractive screenshots, I believe everybody is able to understand what screenshots I'm talking about. Within the app description, you have where you find the app, you have the icon, the description, the category name, and also if there is a price attached to it, the install button, and also the screenshots which talks about what is going to be the layout of the screen 1 and the screen 2 and the screen 3, whatever major screens are there, you go ahead and put that across. So the screens should be able to give across an appropriate picture to the visitor on how the app is going to be like. So that is a lot of selling which gets done at the apps within the App Store itself. Getting people onto the App Store and making your app found is not the end of the story. It is also about going in and convincing them. And then also it goes further when the app is being downloaded across, how the app is really engaging and how well are you really going ahead and sending reminders and so forth to your, and furthermore, uh, promotional offers to your app users so that they're being reminded that yes, they have downloaded an app and it's not just there to stick around on the operating system and that's it. It has to be more used as well, and there has to be more shareability being done across. After talking about all these, finding across the app, the other key element for making an app successful is creating an initial burst, which is the paid element. After the unpaid, which is the organic or the optimization one, it is all about utilizing the paid advertising in the most appropriate manner and also utilizing the existing customer platforms. When I say existing customer platforms, it goes without saying you jump on to making an app only after you have made a desktop website, a mobile website, and so forth. So you go ahead and utilize those platforms, texting to your customers and also emailing other marketing activities which are being done across, whether to do with emails and text. Even those needs to be used across perfectly for creating the initial burst and getting more downloads. And only these downloads are going to make across a big difference in the overall app ranking. So if we're talking about App Store optimization, I was talking about getting onto finalizing and freezing onto the search terms is very important thing. If you are freezing onto a wrong search term for optimizing your website, ultimately your marketing plan will go further down. But there are more things to it. There are more things to App Store optimization, and that is also the downloads. So downloads, along with app reviews, also play a very vital role in the ranking of the app. All right. So that is another thing which will help across in spurring the organic growth and so forth. All right, so that's another one. And then the other thing with which a marketer would help in making the app, a successful thing altogether is to encourage sharing. So if you as a marketer are able to encourage across your existing app users to go ahead and share across the app with other people, and that would only happen if you incorporate social sharing buttons, email referrals, text messaging, and you give across some motivation, some benefit, some other freebies maybe, which would encourage people to go ahead and share across your app. So it goes without saying the overall product has to be strong, that it automatically leads to sharing of the app, and it has to be coupled up with the strong product has to be coupled up with the social sharing buttons embeddingness, and also the email referrals, and also those referral schemes where you are rewarding the existing customers for sharing the app with their friends and families and colleagues and their connections and so forth. The other element which would help in app marketing successful is for requesting for feedback and the ratings. So ratings, feedbacks, reviews, these are the other things which ultimately leads to a lot of app installs, because it's it's all about the reputation, which matters a lot. If people are liking it and they're talking about it, definitely it'll bring in more uh, referral business automatically. People who are can who are much more into knowing what others have got benefited out of it, they do look for reviews, and uh, it's a major internet users or the mobile app users who goes for reading the reviews first and then deciding whether to go for installing the app or not. How that app has helped others, the overall testimonials and the reviews, whatever you want to call that, that is something which works the best. Along with that, these reviews also play a very vital role in the App Store ranking, in the App Store optimization. So downloads, along with the reviews which I was talking about, they both play a very vital role, which is a sort of an off-page optimization. It is a sort of an off-page optimization for the apps, all right? The other thing is, for making an app successful, is to track and measure, which is all about embedding analytics to your app and then measuring with the right matrices on how well your app is doing, how well your app is doing in terms of getting traffic from the organic space and also getting traffic from the paid channels and so forth. Right? So that's about that's the other element which would lead to app marketing success. And the last one is leveraging other channels. If we talk about other channels, these are primarily the social media, email marketing, the texting and so forth, which would help in promoting across the app and creating across perfect landing pages. That's another one. If you've got landing pages which specifically talk about what one can really get across from an app, that's something which would do the overall talking, do the overall selling of the app to the end customer. All right. So these are the key elements which would help in making an app successful. Now, we will definitely now get into the pre-launch and the post-launch. There are certain pointers which talks about what all things should be done with regards to public relations, promoting the app, and also the pre-launch. All right. So building buzz with well before launch, that's an important thing when it comes down to pre-launch. So before you're going ahead with launching in your app, you go ahead and let the entire target audience know about your app with building a buzz on several websites. There are press release sites where reviews of apps are also there and so forth. There are app blogs, there are tech bloggers, which are influencers we spoke about, and they do target people. And they have a fan following, and when they talk about your app, that will always going to have positive impact. Also, the other thing is to release a sneak peek for the journalist and for creating a relation. We've spoken about this, creating relationships to be nurtured in the new and notable way, finding also a newsworthy angle, and also encouraging the existing app customers to go ahead and promote it. So when you go ahead and give them sort of a motivation, certain freebies to go ahead and do this overall social share and promotion and so forth. Now, talking in bit detail about what App Store optimization is. So you can do all the PR in the world, but if you cannot find the app, right, to download it, it's going to be altogether a disaster. So you have to make sure that you do everything right in terms of making your app visible across for the right search phrase in the App Store. So App Store bit differs across for both the platforms, for the iOS and for the Android. And an App Store strategy that requires the same elements which are there in the which one does for optimizing the website for the search engines. So for the search engines, what all rules are being taken into consideration. Quite many of them are similarly taken into consideration and being implemented when it comes down to optimizing the app for the app stores or the Google Play Store, right? The Android and the iOS. Initially, you go ahead and get started with doing a competitor analysis. Look at what all your competitors are doing with their apps, the kind of search phrases they're using with their app, the kind of functionality which they're offering, and how well have you designed your app, how differently you've designed your app as compared to your competitor, and so forth. Then doing in the keyword research, where you definitely look into your competitors' keywords too, like we spoke about. It's pretty simple by going into your competitor's app and seeing the kind of uh, keywords, the words which have been put in across by a competitor in the app description and so forth. The other thing with the App Store optimization is all about going ahead and submitting the keywords. So keywords are those search phrases which you are looking for, which your end audience definitely do type in. It's been seen that quite a many app creators, they do this mistake of selecting the keyword as their brand name. So if you are not promoting your brand aggressively and you are just going ahead and optimizing your app for your brand name, it's never going to get you some results because nobody knows about your brand. Why on earth would you really go ahead and promote across your app for a keyword which is a brand name? Many people searching across for apps with the overall generic term which your app would provide across, right? Maybe somebody would type in across app for games for kids, apps for kids, productivity apps, business apps, management apps. Well, these are the certain phrases, very generic phrases for which the competition is also higher, and that would fetch you much more results. But in the initial level, it's better to go ahead and go for a bigger search phrase, for a longer key phrase, because they're more conversion related, and also they've got lesser competition. But make sure they're not your brand. So those longer key phrases are generic and very specific to what category your app falls in, what value your app provides, which your end audience would also type in, and doesn't have the brand name. A keyword-rich and conversion-optimized App Store description is needed. We have spoken about it. Also having localized information in the languages which your end audience do understand and type in and they're searching for, right? Coupled with that, the reviews and ratings in the same language. That's something which should be done across. Plus, I've already spoken about this, which is the screenshots, having high-quality screenshots and also the videos, right? The app demonstration videos also play a very vital role, which really leads to conversion of those people who are coming and seeing your app, and then they're trying to decide whether to go ahead and download the app or not. So reviews, high quality screenshots, videos, the demonstration video of your app, they prove out to be a way to bigger element when it comes down to App Store optimization too, and also making your visitors turn into potential clients and customers. Also encouraging reviews and ratings, and also push notifications should be leveraged across perfectly. That also helps in App Store optimization, and also reminding the existing app users to go ahead and keep engaging with the app on an ongoing basis. So push notifications are there for that. All right, so we got a screen over here. We got a slide which talks about the paid advertising. Paid advertising is precisely all about. All right, so if you talk about paid advertising, guys, this is done across with the help of several app networks, several ad networks, which enables app promotion on several other websites, and primarily the mobile websites, and also different mobile apps only. Some of those advertising channels are like ad enablers, iAd, InMobi, AdMob, TapJoy, JumpTap. There are real-time bidding exchanges, Facebook Exchange, with the help of Google AdWords too. You're able to promote across your app in the search ads as well. If somebody's doing a search on a mobile search engine, the mobile version of the Google search engine and so forth. Then there are display ad types like the in-app ads, which are expanded banners, as you can see over here, right? So the moment you go ahead and click onto those, there are interstitials, mobile banner ads, rich media, which are videos and so forth. So there are quite many ways through which you can promote across your app through the paid. There can be a way to bigger session onto how to create these ads, the paid ads, and get across value out of it. The way the other paid elements, the paid marketing, the paid advertising works in the desktop version, very similar to that. We got the mobile app version. There are certain functionalities which do differ, but the basic mechanism, the matrices work similar. One of the metrics which would differ in the mobile app marketing is the overall cost per app download, and over there you majorly try to lower down the cost per impression or cost per click, right? So how many downloads you got across, and how many so that's something which is being measured in order to see the performance of a campaign in a mobile app, whereas in the other you always look for the different conversions. Conversion could be a sale in a different campaign, or it can be a form fill up and so forth. Whereas in the mobile app, you primarily focus on the downloads, and then later you have furthermore engagement related campaigns where you're looking at people spending more time sharing your apps and doing in-app purchases and so forth. So for the burst marketing, to get to the top of a category, you always need to have better reviews and maximum downloads in minimum time. If you're getting maximum downloads in minimum time, the overall algorithm of these apps, App Store, they go ahead and push in across your app onto the top. All right. So looking for increasing your organic downloads and also for gaining ranking in the which would help you in getting ranking in the App Store. This has to be coupled up with two things, the organic and the paid one. The paid one through which you're able to spur downloads in a shorter span of time. Now, many would say the higher cash you have, the higher budget you have, you're always going to have benefit. There are no doubts about that. If you're able to push in and push in more money into it, which will help you get a good amount of downloads, you're always going to get benefit. But nevertheless, even if you're a small business owner, you do not have those budgets, then it's all about going ahead and creating a differentiating factor into your product that will only help you to really stand out and win this particular battlefield of making your app stand out and do well as compared to your competitors and so forth. And the other thing is cross-channel promotion. We've already spoken about that, where you are using emails and so forth, your mobile websites, your texting and so forth to go ahead and promote across your mobile app. That's what the screenshot also talks about. On your website, you have the links. On the mobile website, you've got links which talks about go ahead and click onto this and get the app and so forth. All right, and another one is referral marketing. We already spoken about this, which helps in making other people go ahead and spread out the word, and also using across push notifications. Here's the example. You're looking for feedback. You you send across push notifications to take feedback, to take reviews, and ultimately going ahead and amplifying the entire process and so forth. So here's the entire bandwagon, which talks about the mobile marketing. So you need to have better ad creatives, more public relations exercises to be done with the help of paid ads, cross-promotion, app store optimization, and sharing across on social media. You do go ahead and push it across your mobile app plan, working totally. Now, whatever we have discussed so far, I'm just going to be quick in terms of the pre-launch and the post-launch app marketing stuff. So things which I have discussed have been divided into pre and post both. That was an overall mix of them. Now, in overall classification, there are going to be a few things which are new, which I haven't spoken about now, and there are going to be a few things which have already been spoken about. So I'm going to get started with the pre-launch marketing activities which should be done. Here are the 9 steps which I have highlighted, which one should be doing to market an app before launch. Number 1 is to know your app. So it all starts with getting to know what you're really going ahead and creating across. In the development stage of your app, go ahead and create across a list of various successful apps in that same segment and check out how these various successful apps have really gone ahead and provided value to the end customers, how they have really benefited the end customers, and what all strategies, what all things they did in terms of getting profit, then that kind of icon they created, the name, the design, the app review, and the screenshots and so forth. Number two element with regards to the pre-launch, before the launch, it's all about going in and choosing a good name for your app. Now, this is a very subjective. What is a good name is pretty subjective. Something which is good for me might not be good for the other person. It's always better to go ahead and ask and do a sort of primary feedback, a primary research. Go ahead and do across a primary research from amongst your audience in terms of what name sounds better to them. So go ahead and take across certain names and then do a research, do talking to their potential audience at what sounds good to them and so forth. Ultimately, you're not using your logics in that. You're ultimately listening from the horse's mouth what's going to work, right? Make sure also you use across important keywords and so forth, something which is memorable, people are able to say pretty easily and so forth, right? And do not infringe any trademarks. That's another thing to really be careful about when you're choosing across a good name for your app. Number three, we've already spoken about that, which is going ahead and finding across your competitors. So observe what the other developers have done in terms of making an app successful, right? Look at competitors, each and everything, the keywords they have used, the kind of layout they had, the ease, availability, the social icons, embedment, the share functionality, how people can go ahead and share across that app, and the reviews, the push notifications being sent across for asking for reviews and so forth. So that's another thing. Looking at your competitors, their strategy, their overall product, the way they have marketed it. The fourth element, which needs to be done before launching the app, is to choose the right category. I did talk about the category stuff that maybe you might not go for the most favorite category. You might go ahead and go for the second most favorite or the third most favorite category, just because of the reason the first most favorite category is pretty competitive right now. Always estimate the number of downloads you will be needing across to rank higher in a specific category. There are like plenty of downloads which are going to be needed across. It's not a brainer to go ahead and just use that category type and select that category. Calculate your strength. The more competitive a category, the more downloads you will get, but that's something which should be done across at a later stage. Later on, so it is a level game altogether. We should be going with a lesser competitive category, ranking it there, and then changing the category and making it rank higher for these highly competitive keyword, highly competitive category to get maximum downloads. Number fifth is to go ahead and create an amazing icon. Similar logic applies here with icon to what logic we applied for the name. So it's all about going ahead and creating an icon that matters a lot, which is more catchy, but it's easily recognizable, no trademark infringement is being done. Plus, going ahead and asking across, doing a primary research amongst your target audience. Do deliver, better style, which is more recognizable, more easily, viewable. It doesn't really cause irritation to the eyes of your end customer. So these are just pretty simple stuff, which everybody knows, but some people are not able to apply and take a notice of it when they're doing applying in all these app marketing stuff. The sixth element, we already spoken about it, which is to take great high quality screenshots, which do talk about, which gives a overall picture to the end customer, to the visitor, that what sort of product would they really get to see when they'll download the app. Will it going to be pretty interesting for them and so forth? That's what the screenshot will only talk about. So that's the salesman for your app, which will really convert. Along with screenshots, the descriptions, reviews, name, and the icon It's also the demonstration video, which also works as a salesperson for you. Right, now this is the demo video, which I've been talking about, point number 7, which is making an attractive app demo video. Explain what the app does, make it much more memorable, informative, and exciting. Convince the users to why should they really go ahead and download or buy the app, right? That's another thing. If they are getting convinced, so again, it's doing a beta version, trying or testing a beta version where you are having a group discussion amongst a focused group where you have certain set of different targeted audiences who give you various different opinions on whether they like the video, whether they like the app, why should they go ahead and buy the app or download the app after watching the video. Does the video talk about that? Does the video give across that message? All these kind of elements should be done across by the marketer in the beginning. The 8th element also, we spoke about that, which is to have a great landing page which does the overall selling of your app in terms of what the app is. Make sure there is proper optimization being done for that specific landing page also, which is promoting across your app. Write good title description, which has got keywords embedded into it, right? Showcase your app's finest feature, how it is different from the others, and do not forget to include across the other elements, which is the reviews, the screenshots, the high quality screenshots, the demonstration video, and so forth. Right? And the number 9, the last one, is to go ahead and create a buzz with the help of the pre-release buzz, basically. So make sure you use across various review sites. One of them being preapps.com, which helps in introducing new apps to various users and the marketplace prior to its release. Start collecting data well ahead of your launch and contact everyone once the app goes live. So that's the last thing which one should be doing before the launch of the app. Once you've got the launch done, then what to do next? Now, we've already spoken about that also. I'm just going to be quick onto this, and that's going to be the last thing for the webinar today. The 5 steps which a marketer should be doing to market a mobile app. After the launch, it's all about going ahead and pushing it for as many downloads in the very first few days or the weeks and so forth. Ultimately, you have to go ahead and give some of the other motivation, some of the other freebie maybe, to get maximum downloads. People will download only if they have got certain reason for that. You need to provide a reason for that. Provide a free trial. Let them know that this app download is worth this much, but you're running a 1-month free trial and only for this particular month, since it's an introductory offer and so forth. This should be done in the initial phase, and that too for some time, to increase the downloads, which will ultimately help in App Store optimization, bringing the app up and so forth. We spoke about getting to know how the app marketing is performing, and that's very essential. The moment you have launched it, it's necessary to go ahead and sign up for the analytics app. It could be various analytics. You can choose it across any great analytics platform. One of them, my favorite, is Mixpanel or Google Analytics. Also helps you in seeing across the entire matrices, the performance with the help of all the possible matrices in the Google mobile app analytics. And there are plenty of others too, right? Like App Annie and several others. Number 3 is to reach out to the top media. We already spoke about that too. Making sure that you're connecting across to the influencers, creating across press releases, and forming the right bio of the founders, pushing that across with the help of various press release sites, various journalists and editors, and through several other social media sites. Number 4, after the launch, for promoting across the app, is to provide incentives. Encourage users to go ahead and share the app on their personal their personal profiles on all various social networking websites, and also give them offers, freebies, and certain reasons to go ahead and rate and review the app, right? So that's another one. And the last one, as we all did discuss, I spoke about it. It's about the paid promotion. We didn't discuss. I'm sorry, as I pointed that out, is going ahead and promoting across the app on several advertising platforms, right? Some of those being AdMob, InMobi, and several others. So rise to the top of the charts with the help of your app marketing. Keep doing these tasks and just enjoy marketing your app. That's all from my end, guys. Thank you so much. I'm just going to ask Richard to step in and take over the control and
Excellent, Nick, and thank you. Thank you for your expertise today. I always love Nick's talks because I'm always learning something. That's one of the really wonderful things I get for working in the background with Simplilearn, is I get to always increase my knowledge every day. Thank you
You're
very
lucky.
much. Yes, I am very lucky. We do at this point go ahead and we're going to do two things at the same time. I'm going to take over the screen and launch a poll for the next 5 to 10 minutes. As part of Simplilearn, because they're the ones sponsoring the webinar, so you can come in here and have these expertise from people like Nick. So if you ever take a chance to go ahead and answer that, that is great. If you have like a team training for your group, or maybe your own path, maybe you're a company that's building an app and you want to get some training for your marketing team so that they know what's going on, you certainly can contact us for a whole team. And then if you're just an individual, maybe you're doing your own entrepreneurship and you really need to get some more knowledge and something more in depth on how you're going to do the marketing. Great place to get certified in that. While we're doing that, I said I was going to do two things at once. One of the questions that always comes up is, are there recordings for the session? And yes, we do record all the sessions. You can get a copy of the recording or a link for that copy by going to simplilearn.com, go under the, click on support, and request it. Just let them know, hey, I was there on such and such a morning at such and such a time for Nick. And then let them know, Nick creating a killer marketing plan for your app. Just put that in there and they'll know what that is, and they'll send you back an email with that link. At this point, we do have questions for Nick, so if you have any questions as far as your own company path or something specific, great time to post it. We're going to start with a question from Kunal, has a wonderful question. And he's wondering, according to your experience, I'm assuming Nick, because I don't have experience in this, what would the average lifespan and life cycle of an app be? If it's gaming, utility, news, music, do you have any experience as to how long these different apps last, or is there kind of like general market trends on them, Nick?
All right, that's a great question. From my experience, gaming has the shortest life cycle. With regards to news, definitely that's more from the serious stuff. That has much longer life cycle. If I talk about a shorter or a longer, a gaming might have 6 months to an year or maximum a couple of years. With regards to what I've seen so far, and I'll give you the reasons why also. With regards to news, I've seen great apps, news apps, doing pretty well even for the past 5-7 years. And the overall reason to it is the way you have been able to cope up with the change and able to provide value to your end customers. So if you're changing yourself consistently and providing something or the other new to your end customers, will definitely stay there for a longer period of time. But definitely with the type of business, the industry you're in, the things do matter. Like I said, with gaming, it's pretty less, just because nobody wants to play the same game for years and years. They do want to jump in. It's a trade of the audience. Whereas the audience which consume in news piece kind of stuff, they're not hoppers. They're more of loyalists. Loyals. They do want to stick to a particular app since they've got used to it, and they're reluctant in terms of using a new app and checking out some more stuff. So differs from situation to situation, industry to industry. With the help of my example, I've given you a couple of industries examples. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Nick. We got one coming in from Rucktim. How do I decide if I need an app? Suppose I have a web store or a health service website which is doing good. How do I decide if and when I need an app? Especially with, were you able to get all that?
Yeah. I've got a pretty simple answer to it. In one simple line, look for your competitors. If you don't want to be a leader in terms of being the first one to go ahead and get an app in your segment, then and you're just deciding whether you should get an app for your business. You already have all the various resources. You got the website, you got the mobile website, you got several other stuff, several other resources, and now you're not able to decide whether to invest in mobile also, then or just study your competition. Just study your competitors, how well they are doing if they have got a mobile apps. If they've got mobile apps, how is that really treating out to be for them? Is it helping them to get business? Is it helping them to get business not just on the app but also in the brand awareness and much better brand visibility and so forth? So that's the answer. Look for your competition. That's the one.
Excellent. Yeah, I like that one. That's really good. I deal with a lot of, not specifically on the marketing side, but I deal with startups in our area, and there's a lot of questions like that always coming in. Um, let's see, we have from Matt a more direct question. I'm in the process of coming out with an on-demand dating app. It's pretty different from anything I've seen out there. Are there any additional steps for marketing? How can I reach out to people right now?
Oh, the basics are pretty simple. The basics are same. The ground rules remain the same, whether it's a dating app or whether it's a matrimonial or a job portal or so forth. The organic and the paid, these are the two ways. Underneath, you got several different ways to promote it. So the getting good reviews, getting good icon, getting higher quality screenshots and product the app demonstration, that holds true for even a dating app or for any kind of an app. So organic side, definitely you need to look for more downloads with the help of this, and also with the help of. So the thing which would differ over here is the places where your app advertisement would go. So in the paid advertising, more or less, when it comes down to targeting your app, making sure you're putting in money in the right places, showing your banner ads and your video ads on the right spots or not. If you're targeting the wrong audience, if you're targeting the wrong platforms, that will really hit back. That will hit back, and that could eat up your money. So that's the only thing which would differ, whether you are a dating app or you are some other app. Otherwise, the ground rule remains the same.
Excellent, excellent. Let's see. Bear with me because I have to kind of read through these a little bit myself, and I was trying to figure out which questions kind of group together because a lot of them are really specific. Just like that one was specific for an industry. Someone was asking about downloading apps. See, let me just go ahead and read it. What is your recommendation for a promotion of the app to a closed or limited group app, like a conference app, which are usually downloaded in the last minute and uninstalled after the event is over? So something like our WebEx. What's your suggestion for someone doing apps that are similar to that? And that's from Snehal.
Okay. So if it's a pretty niche audience and you're talking about audience within an organization, then it's pretty easy. I mean, you got their contact details, you got their emails, you got their texting numbers. So you're good in that way. You're not gonna use across the paid versions, the paid way of promoting it across. You do not need any app store optimization too. You just need to go ahead and spread the word out through the offline marketing ways. You just need to spread out the word through the in the online version, just with the help of emails and so forth. If the audience is known to you, that's in a scenario when audience is known to you. If the audience is not known to you and still it's a niche audience, then in the paid version you always have the functionality of going local. So if it's a pretty niche segment, then your audience is residing across in a very specific zone, very specific, even a zip code, I would say. The geographic targeting, the interest-based targeting, what your audience is interested in, even the remarketing, all these functionalities are pretty much there. Then in that sense, do not focus more on App Store optimization, just focus more on the paid advertisement, how you're going to go ahead and do the right set of targeting there. So that's the answer. When you know the audience or when you don't know the audience.
Okay, excellent. That makes a lot of sense. And oops, I just closed out one window. Give me just a second to get on there. There we go. Always a technical challenge. You click one thing and 3 windows close. um, we have time for just a couple more questions I got on here. And also, you're welcome, Matt. He sent a thanks, and a thanks, Nick from Snahal. Uh, Always nice to hear the feedback, so we know you guys are listening. And then I have 2 more questions. We're going to take another one from Kanal. Uh, how to regain the MAU and the DAU if an app is losing traction or its appeal? Do you have any suggestions if the app's going downhill, how to regain that
It's
market?
all, yeah. I believe it's all about doing an overall overhaul of the entire business model. What your app was supposed to achieve, maybe it is not living up to the expectations of your end customers. In that case, it's all about listening to your end customers, listening to what your competitors are liking. So whatever app is being liked by your competitors, you need to be going ahead and studying that precisely, getting deeper dive into what works and what not, what's being liked, what are the likes and dislikes. So pretty easy stuff in terms of knowing your audience furthermore and seeing which audience is, which apps your audience are liking the best and taking lessons from there and then implementing. Otherwise, again, the promotional rules, whether it's the organic or the paid, they works the best. It is a lot of permutation and combination which is needed when it comes down to marketing and promoting your app. So some of uh, the publishers where your app is getting promoted might not work for you initially, but later on, with a lot of experimentation and permutation and combination, you might find the right recipe with the perfect features and benefits attached to your app. Yeah.
Excellent. And then, let's see. Let me go ahead and I'm going to get a question from Ricardo. Great name, by the way, is Ricardo. Hi, Nick. Yeah. I know it's probably difficult to say depending on the market, but if you had a limited budget, where would you invest more? Which steps of the pre and after launch are the most valuable in terms of investment? Biggest bang for the buck.
Great. So if you're short of cash, if you're short of budgets, it's the optimization. Pretty simple and clear. No second thoughts on that. And when it comes down to the organic, I meant to say the App Store optimization. So when you cannot spend in more from the money perspective, then you can spend in more from the time perspective. And that what happens in every specific business when you are a startup, when you are having difficulties, or not, I would say difficulties, you've got restrictions from the budget perspective, you've got constraints. It's then you need to shell out more time, more valuable time, I would say. And it's only the organic stuff where things like in the before and after context, I would definitely talk about things like selecting the icon, the review, getting more reviews, proper reviews, populating it across on press release sites, which is not going to cost you money. You are spending in time from your side. Then in that case, you go ahead and connect across with journalists and do a sort of a barter. And that's something which happens in the real case. It happens in the real-time world where people are connecting with journalists and you're not there. They say that we do not have higher budgets. Maybe we can offer you something else and barter system do happens. Bargaining happens across in terms of barter where you're not having any financial transaction with these bloggers, tech bloggers and journalists. You're offering them something else. You're offering them publicity with your app. You're offering them backlinks with your app and so forth to their app so that they also get promotion out of it. They get publicity for themselves. Yep, that's what I would
Excellent.
say.
Yes, especially if you're in the startup communities and new entrepreneurial setups, certainly you're on budget. Yeah. Zero startup cost or minimal, whatever you can. It takes a little bit to raise the money. So those are great suggestions and insight. Um, and let's see, we're going to sneak in 2 extra questions here. I got Matt who just sent a note in. It says, any advice for funding or bringing an app to investors? What would you go show the investors? That's a big one. At least I've had to work with that one before.
You got to be clear with investors on why would your app uh, be successful. We spoke about in detail the key pointers which would make your app successful. And investors do not want to see that you're going to have a great video. They do not want to hear from you that you're going to have great reviews. They do not want to hear that you're going to have a great icon, you're doing this and that. What investors really need is one single piece of paper with numbers. That's it. If you go for any pitches where you are just pitching in investors for funding, they do not want to hear anything else, just with numbers. Then when the numbers sound interesting to their ears, then they go ahead and look into your marketing overall strategy, that what would you be doing, or what have you really done, or you planning to do, which would make you successful. And that all we have discussed in totality, that what should be done, right? So it starts with, when you're talking to investors, do not talk in detail about what we have discussed. That's step number 2. Step number 1 is to go ahead and talk about the number of installs you're expecting, the number of visitors and so forth you're expecting, and so forth. That is a total different ballgame altogether. It starts with identifying the keywords, looking at number of competitors which are there, and what sort of numbers they have achieved. On the basis of that, a lot of calculation. So that is pretty different ballgame altogether. Maybe we can have a different webinar on that, which is the number crunching altogether.
Excellent. And you got a big thank you from Matt for that. Yeah, we appreciate those questions, because I mean, this is how we learn, is what are the real life questions are coming up. This is why we have the webinars, and it's as big of a part of the learning session as going in and studying all these different things. And then one last quick question from Snehal. I hope I'm saying the name correctly. One last quick question. Okay. How critical is the file size of an app? What is the ideal size for when you're putting together these different mobile apps? I'm guessing he's talking about mobile apps, because a computer, you don't worry so much about that.
Yeah. See, mobile app size absolutely has got nothing to do with the marketing, has got nothing to do with whether your app would be successful or not. It's all about making sure it's bug-free. It's all about making sure the quality is perfect. Even a small sized app can really go for a toss if it's not being handled correctly from the development perspective, and let's say it's crashing all the way for the users. So and let's say on the other side you got a bigger size app and it's working pretty well. So there is no logic which says that a bigger sized app will crash more. No, nothing of that. So it totally depends upon the technology, the server size, and the database which you're putting in, the entire bandwidth which is going behind that. So a lot goes from the development aspect. So size of the app has got nothing to do with the success or non-success of an app. It's not at all critical. And there's no ideal size.
Excellent. Thank you, Nick. That's always agreed. He's like, agreed, yes. That's important information. So a lot of this stuff, I never really think about that, because I'm always on the development side. I'll let somebody else come to me and say, hey, that's too big. It's not going to work. We can't upload it. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and round off the session. If you do have additional questions, we do have forums on Simplilearn.com. It's at community.simplilearn.com, or if you go to simplilearn.com, you'll see a link there that takes you to community.simplilearn.com. So we do have an open forum there. If you are a member of our classes, you'll also have Simply Talk, which is just for people who are registered with Simplilearn. So you can also go to the Simply Talk forums too to ask additional questions. We have experts that go in there regularly who answer whatever field they're in. I don't answer these questions, obviously, concerning digital marketing, but I do answer them for the big data Hadoop, and you'll see my picture up there a couple times. Thank you, Nick, for being here. What a wonderful session. I certainly got a lot of information out of it myself, and I see a lot of other people, by the notes they put, really got a lot of stuff out of this webinar.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for joining me.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you in our classrooms. And again, you can get the recordings if you go to simplilearn.com and click on support and request it. And don't forget our forums there. Take care and have a wonderful rest of the week for you.